Hi everyone, welcome. It is our Wednesday money date. My name is Anna, and today I want to talk to you about some of the strategies you can put in place to begin avoiding all this holiday stress that I think everybody's starting to feel. Now, we just had here in the United States one of the first holidays into our season, or Thanksgiving, and I think the whole overwhelm starts to kind of float onto everybody, and then we start to head into holiday parties, end of year parties, Christmas parties, and then Christmas, New Year's, Hanukkah, and so forth. So I kind of wanted to talk about some of the things you can start mapping out for yourself right now before it gets too crazy, because very often, and almost every year that I've been in financial services, we get to see our clients pop back in early January and February trying to make sense out of their finances. Now, granted, not everybody's gonna worry about overspending, right? It is the major concern for a lot of us, right? Spending more money than we anticipated because you're in this holiday mood, whether it's buying gifts, traveling, going out or whatnot. But it's also not just spending money. It's also being preoccupied. It's also not sort of having the routine to your life. So I am all about routines. This is one of the things that I'm personally working on this year. Obviously, my routine that I thought I knew is totally out of whack with having a baby, but that's all good. Even this holiday season is something new for us to discover. So here are a couple of things that hi Jane, good to have you here, that you can start thinking about, okay? Now, when I think about this balance in the holiday season, I think about not having financial stress. And it could be financial stress ahead of time, in the moment, right, while you're doing things, and then being financially stressed or stressed, right? Because a lot of times that worry comes from us not having a good control or good idea, right, where we stand financially. So balancing that, right, it's not a perfect formula. It takes time to work this through, but balancing that is what I want you to think about this holiday season, okay? Now, kind of two areas to outline. Number one is, and I want to start with this first. Number one would be activities, okay? Now, aside from going out shopping and seeing, family, friends, I want you to really take a look at what your calendar looks like for the month of December. Today is only December 4th. You can still do this, right? But take a look, right? What kind of activities you're planning to do in the next 21 days, right? Until we get to Christmas and then New Year's. And map it out. Put it on your calendar. And I'm a big believer of having things on my calendar. I have both personal and professional calendars running side by side, because then I can see what things I'm committing to during the day, right, while I'm at work. What things can I do outside of business hours as far as related to work, and then what am I doing personally, right? So seeing this all mapped out, I'm only asking you to do this for 30 days, even less than that, for 3 weeks. It's going to allow you, right, to give yourself that time, that space and time. Now, not just things you're going to do, but I want you to have calendar for, where you're going to go, how much time it's going to take, right? And, putting targets for yourself. Things like, what are you going to be spending money on, right? So is it going to be going out to parties? Do you have to buy Christmas gifts? So what are your targets in all of these categories? So spending, eating. If you're following a certain diet, how are you going to maintain that during the holidays? Drinking, right? We all tend to overdo over the holiday season in all of these areas, and then all the New Year's resolutions start to pop in. Social activities, right? We talked about how many holiday parties you're going to, what are you going to be attending, and so forth. And then something that I always think about but never put in place, and this is one area for me to work on, thinking about next year, right? And two good examples, right? We all go to, or a lot of us go and try to buy things around Black Friday, right? The day after Thanksgiving. And mainly to make sure that we're ready for the holiday season. So what happens if you start to think a year ahead? Because in the moment, right, we're all trying to get to that Christmas, right, to that day when you give holiday gifts. But what if you try to think about next year? Because there's going to be a lot of sales. If you're that focused on making sure your next year is planned, can you think about next year and possibly buy some of the things that you need right after this holiday, right after this Thanksgiving, if you're still shopping, right after this year's Christmas? So one of the things that I want to do, just to give you an example, I want to update my Christmas decorations. So obviously I'm going to buy some things right now. I have already made some, orders. I'm shopping on Amazon, looking for deals. But after Christmas of this year, I'm planning to buy a couple more things, right, that are not that necessary, but I know are going to be on sale. This is just a basic example, thinking that, okay, next year I'm going to need, and I'm going to use that. So 2 things, right? I want you to plan out your activities, and I want you to think about your money. So number 1, activities. Number 2, your money. Now, for some of you, it may be a lean Christmas or lean holiday season. That's fine. Remember, it's not always about how much money you can spend. Remember the quality time, right, that you can spend with your family versus the actual dollars and things you can do that don't require a ton of money. But as far as having, hi Sveta, good to have you here. As far as having a targeted, specific, right, spending plan, I don't like the word budget, so let's call it a spending plan, but give yourself some kind of guideline, right? And some of you are willing to take more risk, right, and say, okay, I have the resources, I'm gonna work harder next year to pay for this holiday season. That's fine. I don't really care. I don't think there's a right or wrong way to do this. I think it's what works for you, right? If you're willing to have that extra worry, right, or extra pressure, let's say not worry, pressure on yourself going into the holidays because you want to please somebody, you want to do good things, maybe you want to donate to charity that you didn't plan initially, or you really wanted to buy that holiday gift for someone, do it. But know, how are you going to deal with it afterwards? So again, I'm all about planning, and one of the easiest things to do is to put these things on your calendar. So let me know what kind of ideas you have around decreasing holiday stress, because it's right now, we're in the moment of it, and then there's going to be this wave right into January of us decompressing from it, emotionally, physically, right? That's why I want you to think about what is your plan for what you're going to be eating, what you're going to be cooking, and if you're drinking, right, what does that look like? So because all of this is together, comes in together. It's not, finances is not a separate part of our lives. It really very much integrated into everything we do, and so I kind of challenge you to do that this holiday season. Anyway, let me know what are some of the thoughts you have, and how do you manage holiday stress, and how do you come out feeling good, excited, and productive? All right, I will see you next week. Thanks so much for tuning in.